Oh, you don't mind if I get up at 5:30, do you, to go fishing?
Sleep downstairs.
Sleep downstairs? Wow. She's fuming. Having spent the last few months performing, I was eagerly anticipating setting foot on a new adventure, and there's no place like the Coppermill stream for a short campaign. With winter form and a lovely strain of carp, I couldn't wait to get started. So this is where I caught from a couple of years ago when I fished here. Don't know if you can see the water, but it's gin clear, there's no cabbage, no weed, nothing, so it's looking like pretty barren on this side. I actually came yesterday to put a bit of bait in, but that was right at the other end of the stream, so I'm hoping that the carp are down there, but I could only see bream there yesterday. There's no good fishing here, I can see the bottom clearly, so let's go on a little wander and hopefully we find them in the snags. I mounted numerous trees, but I was unable to find any carp, so I left some bait in a few spots and headed to the only other likely area the fish could be. So I decided to set up at the opposite end of the stream to get as close as I possibly could to an inlet pipe. I felt the fact I hadn't seen the fish in the snags meant they just had to be here. The water was slightly coloured around this current, so I made a cast as close as I possibly could from my side of the bridge. I gave it an hour or two, but unfortunately the rods remained motionless, so I packed up and went for a look at the spot I'd baited earlier on. Well, I've just walked up here just to have a look if my bait had been cleaned off, and unfortunately the sweet corn I'd put out and a few crumbed up boilies are still on the bottom. There is actually a few bream in this little stretch here. It goes really deep in this area here. It's a bit of a swirl to it. There's another inlet pipe over there, but yeah, unfortunately the carp aren't here, so it looks like I'm just going to go back to where I was before and stay there till the evening. That's probably my best chance to get a bite, so yeah. Resting the swim for an hour or two had clearly helped, because within minutes of getting the rod back in, I was into my first Coppermill carp. I'm into a fish. The rod tip was arched right over. I think it's clear of the snags. Yes! Get in. That's a good fish, that. That's a good carp. Little snowman. Lovely stuff. How's that look? £26.13. Well, a big side cast towards that inlet, and there we go, there's the reward. £22.5 a common. Not as dark as the other residents in this little stream, but still a good start, eh? It's pretty cold, my hands are numb. There we go, what a start to the campaign. And then I lost one shortly after, but we weren't going to worry about that. We'll get the rod back in, and hopefully there'll be some more to come. Good stuff. The rest of the day passed away uneventfully, but with a fish under my wing, I was ultra keen to return in a few days' time. The next couple of days were spent at work, but keeping the swim topped up I felt would really help my success. So I began making a mix, with the intention of baiting up after work for my trip the following day. As far as bait goes, I'm using a combination of Scopex squid and citrus boilies, with some added corn and Scopex pellet. The Scopex boilie makes up for 80% of the mix, the reason being I only want there to be hints of the pink and yellow from the citrus and corn, meaning there's enough to attract the fish from a visual aspect, but my bright hook baits will still stand out. I'm only fishing for a bite at a time. Bits of bait fluttering through the swim every few hours will hopefully tempt the carp into feeding. With the preparation done, it was time to close up the shop and head out to pre-bait. Well, I've just finished work. Luckily, I can actually bait this spot from the road. As you can see, the gates are now closed, so I wouldn't be able to get onto the actual, onto the bank. But I've got my little baiting spoon, so I'm going to launch boilies down into that little outflow down there, and hopefully I'll be able to snare a few first light in the morning. Gives them the night to get comfortable, find the bait, and then yeah, you'll see me back in the morning, hopefully into a fish. So there we go, I'm in the swim. As you can see, there's the outflow where I trickled a little bait a minute ago. I'm going to get the rods out as quickly as possible, because hopefully that bait going in slightly spooked the fish, so that I've got that little window to cast my leads out without properly spooking them. So yeah, without wasting any time, let's get the gear set up.
Becca. What a cool.
Well, I'm in. Yes. Just watching Gaz Fairham's piece on Thinking Anglers, and my tip's hooped over. My phone's on the floor, as you can see. But yeah, rod's been out about an hour and a half. It's really cold last night, probably about, I think it was 0 degrees. So it's pretty cold today. So I'm really made up with this. Looks like a nice common. Let's get the net. Oh. Come on. Come on. Yes! Mega stuff. First one of the day. Ever faithful blowback D-rig. That's a beautiful fish. Within minutes of me putting this fish to rest in the sling, the rod was away again. Unfortunately, I lost the fish due to a hook pull, but before I had time to get depressed, I got a second chance. Well, I lost one, but now I'm in again. Just got to be careful it doesn't get round that left hand side over there, so it's really hairy playing on here, but sometimes you have to take the unattractive route and make sure you land on is the important thing. I've got him past the snags. There he is. Oh, it's a lovely mirror as well. Beautiful. With only a handful of mirrors in the stream, I was praying I could get this one in the net. Get in that net. Yes! Get in! Fish number 2. And that one is a stunner by the looks of it. Well, our second trip to the Coppermill stream. Coming down last night after work baiting up clearly paid off. After an hour and a half of the rig being cast out, I was rewarded with this little common. I've also got an even better one to show you that's waiting in the sling. Well, what a fantastic fish that is. Like I said, it's really cold, and this was the second fish in the space of a few hours. And this one's a real gem, just short of £20. It's got some beautiful scale pattern going on, little dumpy peck, stubby little nose, incredible fish, and one of the best ones I've had out of this stream actually. We've still got time left for some more, so let's get her back in and hopefully we can have a few more. Brilliant stuff. Well, I have had 2 fish today, so it's been rather successful. Like I mentioned before, it's cold, wet, windy, horrible. I am drenched from head to toe, and so is my good friend Arthur, who's assisted me today to take some photos. He just looks an absolute riot. His hair looks like a drowned rat. So yeah, we're going to get out of it. It's only about 3:30. We could stay a few hours more, but it's just not really worth it. We're going to get ill in this weather. So I'll pack up, put some baiting on the spot, and then hopefully be back in a few days. Well, just before I leave, I'm just going to top the spot up so that it keeps the fish feeding for when I come back in a few days. Mainly sweet corn, just to keep it cheaper basically. A couple of days later was the night on the Stowe, which was perfect timing. With only been able to fish the nights once every few weeks, I wanted to make the most of this opportunity. So I made a trip before work on the Saturday morning to put some bait in, just to up my chances for when I return for the following evening. With fishing on my mind, my day at work flew by, and it was time to leave the shop and arrive in a swim full of feeding carp. At least that's what I'd hoped. Right, back on the stream. Trickle some bait in again and then get round for the night. Buzzing. Well, the rods are out. It was rather difficult pinging them right over towards that outflow pipe in the dark, but I managed to get both the rods out. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I get a bite before going to bed. Temperature's pretty good, as I said earlier. It's 12 degrees and doesn't drop below 11 tonight, so I'll be very shocked if I don't catch. But fishing's fishing, you never know. Come on. Well, it's 3:30 in the morning. I'm surprised I didn't have a bite earlier, to be honest, but happy that I've had one. There's a nice common waiting in the sling. It'll be light by 6, so a few hours in the sling, then I'll get her out for some pictures. Let's get the rigs back out again. Did you hear that screamer?
Yeah, I heard it. Where's my glasses? Don't stand
Mate, I wasn't expecting to catch another one, if I'm honest. I'm buzzing with that.
I heard the alarm go, and then I heard you shout, so it's all kicking off from the Coppermill. Oh, look at that in that water though. Looks puckered, doesn't it?
Mate, in the summer it's gin clear, you can see them even better.
It's a bit murky though, isn't it? Further down where the cabbages were. Yeah, wait a big small move.
This one's trying to proper bury right down, look at that. Look at the landing net. Snapped it, didn't I? So I've sellotaped it up. Look at it, it's not even going to net the
boy go!
It's not even going to get the fish in it, is it?
This is even like a swim net.
Go on. Oh, the landing net's messed up, but it's in the net. Yes!
Oh, fair play, mate. Lovely fish and all.
Yes, that's a nice little dumpy fella, that, isn't it?
That's a nice fish, mate.
Nice colour to it.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, that's a lovely fish. He's got a little dumpy tail, hasn't he? Unfortunately, I somehow managed to leave my camera batteries at the shop, but I did have my iPhone, so we managed to get a few bits of footage of the fish. Well, that was the first fish of the night last night, about 3:30, 3:45. Give him a few hours in the sling and the sun's come out this morning. Another pristine little common, and I've got another one to show you as well. Not sure how big it is, probably 16 pound. Stunning fish though, that. Well, second fish of the trip. This one's absolutely stunning. Really dark fish. Overslung mouth. Little deformed tail, broken scales. Incredible little river carp. And just why we come to the Coppermill stream. Thank you, mate. Let's get you back in. With 3 sessions left to go, I made a phone call to a good friend, Mike Tobin, to see if he was able to come down and get some footage for me. Luckily for me, he was. But not only that, he picked me up in his taxi, so I didn't have to get on the tubes with all my fishing gear for once. Talk about driving in style. Picked up today by Mike in his lush taxi. Go on, mate.
You ready for it?
Definitely. Although fishing this swim wasn't the style of angling I'd envisioned when planning my trips to the stream, gin clear stalking and small mats that hatch wafters, what mattered most was catching the fish, and in this case it was about accurately casting into murky water and making sure I was consistent with the bait. If I got that right, there was a good chance I'd catch. With my rod set and rigged ready to go, I mounted the Scopex Snowman combo to my ever faithful blowback D-rig, and finally added the all-important hook bait dip. Surely this would pull it out the bag on my penultimate session. The rods were out, so it was just a case of sitting back, enjoying good company and hoping that the fish show up. And it didn't take long.
Go on. Go on. Yes! Damn, mate.
That'll do, won't it? Well, there we go. Fish number 6. This one probably just short of £20, maybe about 17. Another absolute pristine common from the Coppermill. We've seen a few fish in the swim, so it's looking likely that we're going to catch a few more. Although it seemed perfect for a bite, hours passed by uneventfully. I did contemplate moving swims, but I was sure the fish were still here, so I sat on my hands and waited patiently. Well, to some degree. Bear Grylls, born survivor. With the gnarly old pike sat in the swim entertaining us, the hours flew by, and if I'm honest, I'd taken my attention away from the carp fishing, until out of nowhere, the bobbin lifted, the siren sounded, and the clutch began to peel off.
That's a nice one.
God, this is a hard fighting carp, look at it.
Is it mid-20?
That's just a fat one, isn't it?
It looks low 20s.
Yeah, it's a short fat one, but I don't care how big it is, that's a nice carp that. Woo! God, this. Get in. That's a proper one. That weren't coming out, was it? Wicked stuff. Well, the weather's been absolutely spot on today. One fish quite early on in the session, and then 5-6 hours of nothing, which, to be honest, I was feeling a little bit deflated. We saw a massive pike in the edge, and my mate Matt tried to have it, but unfortunately it wasn't having any of it. And then out of nowhere, this stunning common slipped up. Biggest, well, not actually the biggest yet, but definitely the fattest one yet anyway. Another absolute brute of fish, put up a right good battle. Fish number 7, let's keep him coming. With my next trip being my final session, I decided to sleep at the shop so I didn't have such a long way to travel in the morning. I wasted no time and started exactly where I left off, but as the hours passed and the spring sun came to life, it just became apparent that the fish clearly weren't in the swim. I certainly wasn't going to sit there wasting my time on my final day, so I packed up and began searching. After venturing to the furthest end of the stream and back again, I finally found the fish, and in numbers. With the fish drifting round in groups, it was important that I didn't spook them, so I quietly flicked a few boilies in and then gently lowered the rig in place. Moments later, the shoal of fish came from upstream and drifted right over the top of my hook bait.
Yes.
The fish had managed to avoid the hook bait, most of them drifting downstream out of sight. So while I had the opportunity, I quickly set my other rod up and placed it a little bit further upstream in hope that when the fish that drifted off do return, I've now got 2 rigs on the dance floor. From previous captures in this area, I was well aware that the majority of the takes came from the fish that were feeding while moving upstream. They always feed upstream. If you go down on that one, so they always feed upstream. Just as planned, 2 fish came out of nowhere, and the biggest one was heading directly in line for my hook bait. He stopped. He's there.
Oh, he's on it. No. You're in. Big common.
We've watched that coming in, said it's on the line, they always feed coming upstream, and he's nailed it.
That's a big common. Come on, Jake.
Get in there! Now that was absolutely unreal watching that take that hook. And that's a bloody good fish as well. And there's more. With that fish safely retained, I had to get the rods back in ASAP as it appeared that the fish had returned. He's coming. Record, he's coming for it. Go on. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Oh, just missed it. Just missed it and spooked up. Oh. He literally dropped about 2 inches past it and then felt it. Told you, they always feed upstream. Weird, isn't it? Then out of nowhere, this happened. That's it, you're in, you're in. That's what I've just seen as well. That's what I've just seen, mate. Absolutely kicking on. With my final session coming to an end due to the close season approaching, I couldn't have asked for a better few hours fishing. A stunning £28 common followed by a 25 to make a total of 9 fish in just a few sessions. This proves that you don't need stacks of time to get out there and catch these carp, and surely there's no better way than to see them taking the hook bait, and that's exactly why I love this stream so much. For now the campaign is done, but I'll sure be back for the main prize that this fantastic river holds. I just wanted to say a big thanks to everyone who's watched this video and also wish you the best of luck in this unfortunate current situation. But for now, I'm going to drop a couple of videos in of my old man as he's been keeping a few of us entertained on Instagram. So if you've got any sense, click off the video now, and if not, enjoy.
Well folks, this is the lockdown. It's really very sad, but I don't care because I'm ready to go mad. I'm finest player this side of the Mississippi. 'Cause I'm gonna play you music that's really good for me. I've been catching fish all my life. I don't care much 'cause I own it in my life, but all on, keep on fishing, keep on catching and bream. And then I found another fish, a 16-pound tench.
How did you catch it? Maggots or worm?
I caught some maggots and a bloody big lob worm. I cast out and I thought, this is gonna work. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to love anyone. Now this trouble is around us, all is staying in. I'm rather hoping that it'll soon be in the bin, because I know the disease will go. It really will go.
What about carp fishing?
If you're carp fishing and you don't like to lose, keep on saying, baby, 'cause you got the carpy blues. Oh, keep those blues, keep those carpy blues. Don't listen to me, folks, 'cause I know now. I said to the wife, you got a tidy snout. She said, oh baby, you don't look good. I said, come on baby, let's it, that's good, let's go. Yeah. But keep on fishing now. Get in the canal and get them roach. I caught a roach, it was £2 wide. I don't care 'cause I tell lies, oh yeah. Well, I caught a big bream, it was bigger than you've seen who's in the world. I had a carp, £30. I didn't care shit 'cause it couldn't be found. No time, all I'm gonna say, keep out there and go on fishing. And for now, stay at home.